booktube. I'm here today with my review of Flowers for Algernon. It was written by Daniel Keyes. I listened to the audiobook. It was narrated by Jeff Woodman. It was published in 1966 and it's a science fiction novel. So Flowers for Algernon, I had gone almost my whole life not knowing about this, but hearing references to, oh, it's a Flowers for Algernon situation. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And my brother finally explained it to me and I was like, well, you know, now I have to read the book. So I did. So Flowers for Algernon is about Charlie Gordon. And he has a dream to be smart and have lots of friends. And although he's trying, he really can't do it. He's being prevented from accomplishing his dreams due to his mental disability. But along comes a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and while neither he nor the doctors and the scientists understand the full consequences of what they're doing, he is going to take this opportunity to become the smartest man alive. And the story goes from there. Now, what is really cool about this book are two things that I want to talk about: the writing style and the themes that it addresses, which are, the list can go on and on and on and on and on. But let me just talk about the writing style. I've heard that it's quite different from the written versus the audio, obviously. In the written version, we begin with Charlie's writing phonetically and misspelling words and misplacing punctuations and all this kind of stuff. And that doesn't, you know, you can't directly translate that onto the page. But what is really cool is that in the audiobook, the narrator changes the way he speaks. So it's the inflections, the tone of voice changes as Charlie becomes smarter and smarter. And it's really well done. I have to really give props to Daniel Keyes because the transition is not like immediate, and you're told it's not going to be immediate. It is a gradual transition from becoming, they use the word retarded in the book, that was the word that was used back then, to a genius. And it's really well done, really quite subtle in places. And that you notice, oh, his grammar's becoming better, oh, his spelling's becoming better, oh, he's using more complex words and all this kind of stuff now. He's remembering things, remembering full conversations and how to spell words, and it's really, like, well done. And now I want to talk about the themes, because I say that this is the science fiction book that everyone should read, especially if you think that science fiction is not for you. Like, read this book, go out and read it, because it is amazing. It deals with a lot of relevant issues. First of all, it deals with, obviously, mentally disabled and treating them as human beings, as people. It's one thing that Charlie struggles with, is first recognizing himself that he was a person before he became super smart, and translating that to other people and saying, listen, you didn't create me. I was a person, I was a human being before you did this to me. Please acknowledge that. And I think that's a really important message to get across to people. It also deals with a lot of, like, bookish intelligence versus emotional intelligence, because while, you know, he's increasing at a really high rate in his, you know, intelligence, his emotional intelligence is still quite stunted. Because he hasn't had that time to mature that, you know, a lot of non-mentally disabled adults do. And the memories and the flashbacks that he has really quite explain a lot of why that is, and it's really fascinating to read those things, like how his treatment as a young man and as a boy affected him into the man that he would grow up and become. Yeah, and then we talk about ethics and science, because of course he couldn't really consent to what was done to him. And it was an estranged relative that agreed to do it. And it was, you know, the questions of, you know, who owns him, who's created him, what does he owe the scientific community type. Those questions are answered, or answered, not answered, asked. And it deals with relationships, and that's the main thing, that the theme that comes around is that there's friendships, you know, people who you think are your friends, you know, when you start to get more intelligent and see things that are going on, you realize, oh, maybe, you know, they aren't my friends, you know, maybe they're just treating me really badly. Romantic relationships, and sexual relationships, and it makes a distinction between those two, and familial relationships, particularly between mother-son and father-son relationships. So I think everyone should read this book, and yeah, so this is the last book for #RemBooks. I'm not burnt out, surprisingly. I thought I would be. I would be sick of doing reviews, but I'm not. I actually really enjoy them and really getting to look at them. I actually changed my opinion on a few of them by looking at them a lot closer too, so that's really cool. So my question to you now is, what do you think about reviews? How do you feel about them? Do you think we should review every book we read? Should we do it in video format? Should we do it in written format? Should we just do it for ourselves? What is your opinion on reviews? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in June.